I like everything about cherry peach jam except for the fact that it's very rare for me to have both peaches that are in season and cherries that are in season. Usually one or the other of them ends up having to be canned. In this case, I'll be using some canned peaches and some fresh cherries. I begin by destemming, washing, and pitting 2 cups worth of chopped cherries, which is about 1 pound worth of cherries. So when I'm doing it fresh, I do around 4 cups, just because once I start the jam making process, I don't want to run out. So if I have extra that are pitted already, nobody minds being able to eat a cherry without a pit in it. I can either mash my cherries or put them in a food processor, or, as is the case today, I'll use the blender, but on my very lowest setting, because I don't actually want to puree it up. I just want small chunks for in my jam. If you're not 100% sure that you've gotten all the pits out, then I don't recommend using the blender. In that case, you should mash them. I'll place about 2/3 of the cherries into the blender, blend that down, and then check the level. If it's at the 2 cup mark, great. If not, then I'll add more. Now I'll add this to my large pot. So the peaches are pretty much the same, but I'm doing the canned peaches, so I'll just pull them out. Usually 1 quart of peaches will do about 2 cups, which is what I need. So then I'll blend that up and double check the level. And I do all my blending on low. I don't want to make it a really thin puree. So I'll add my 2 cups of peaches to my 2 cups of cherries, and then 6 tablespoons of pectin, 1/4 a cup of lemon juice, and 1/2 teaspoon of butter. The butter helps to cut down the foam. Then I'll place this on the stove and I'll bring it to a boil. Now that it's begun to boil, I'll add my 6 cups of sugar. I need to add that all at once. You don't want to do it 1 cup at a time, so it needs to be pre-measured. Then I'll mix it in and bring it back to a boil. Now that the jam is beginning to boil, I'll set my timer for 1 minute. And I'll stir for the whole time because at this point, I don't want to burn anything. Now I still have a bit of foam here, so I'll pull that out first. And I made fresh bread today, so it'll be perfect for eating that foam on. I remember my mom always used to do that as a kid. She would, on a jam day, she'd always make fresh bread. And now I'll fill up my 1/2 pint jars to 1/4 of an inch of headspace. Headspace is the space from the top of the food to the top of the jar. I always think it's so pretty when I combine the dark cherries with something lighter like an apricot or a peach. I feel like it just makes it look so nice. I'll then use a clean damp cloth to wipe off the rims of the jars. This is just so that if any jam got on the edge, that it won't interfere with the seal. Then I'll place on my lids and rings until they're fingertip tight. I'm using the Superb lids today. I just feel like they're better quality. They have a thicker seal to them as well as a really nice feel. They feel a little more substantial, like they're not quite as thin as some of those knockoff brands that I've used. I have a link plus a 20% off coupon code in the description below. I'll process these in the boiling water bath for 10 minutes if at sea level. I'm at 1,200 feet, so I'll go for 15, but I won't start my timer until after the water begins to boil. Now that the processing is complete, I'll turn off the heat, remove the lid, and let it sit for 5 minutes. I'll remove the jars and place them on a heat-resistant surface about 1 to 2 inches apart. This is just so that they can cool down quickly. I'll let them sit for 24 hours so that they can get a good seal. I can tell that they have a good seal if the center of the lid is depressed down. Then I'll remove the ring and wash it with hot soapy water and then store it in a cool, dry, dark location like my pantry and use it in the next 1 to 3 years. If for some reason any of them didn't seal, I would place it in the refrigerator and use it right away. So the taste test. So there's definitely the cherry flavor there, but the peach flavor is actually really strong in these. It tastes really good. I really like it.